Welcome back to Klepper's Corner. Today in history, the only show where we look at the past and say, ah yes, humanity has always been this chaotic. If December 30th had a personality, it'd be that one friend who shows up right before New Year's Eve saying, I'm not here to cause problems, but problems will be caused. Today is a parade of empire builders, galaxy measurers, kings losing their heads metaphorically and literally, and one surprisingly aggressive theater curtain. So let's jump in before December 31st shows up demanding overtime pay. Segment 1, Justinian drops the legal mixtape, 534 AD. December 30th, 534 AD. Emperor Justinian releases the final edition of the Codex Justinianus, which was basically the empire saying, let's delete old laws like they're your embarrassing Facebook posts from 2009. Just imagine Justinian walking into the law office like a medieval CEO saying, simplify everything, while his jurist, Tribonian, responds, sir, this is 1100 years of legal spaghetti. Justinian didn't care. He wanted a clean system. He wanted order. He wanted Book 1 to start with the Holy Trinity, because nothing says legal clarity like opening your rule book with theology. And to be fair, the code did some surprisingly progressive things. Protections for women, rules against forced prostitution, and even creating the prototype for forensic medicine. That's right, CSI Constantinople. But the real win? He invalidated all previous laws. All of them. Can you imagine Congress doing that today? America would treat that like the legal equivalent of unplugging the Wi-Fi router. Segment 2, the Granada Massacre, 1066. Jump to 1066, same year as the Norman Conquest. But over in Spain, the Taifa of Granada said, hold my almond wine, and produced one of the most tragic collapses of its era. Joseph ibn Nagrella, a Jewish vizier, was basically running the administration like a medieval Renaissance man. But then came a poet. Yes, a poet named Abu Ishaq, who wrote the 11th century version of a viral hate tweet. And because this was before content moderation, the city exploded. A mob stormed the palace. Joseph was killed, and thousands in the Jewish quarter were massacred. It shattered the whole myth of convivencia, this idea that medieval Spain was one big interfaith coffee shop. No, December 30th proved that even in the 11th century, misinformation and jealousy could burn down entire communities. Honestly, it feels extremely modern. Segment 3, the Battle of Wakefield, 1460, a war of roses and bad decisions. Now let's go to England, where the Wars of the Roses were in full bloom. On December 30th, 1460, Richard, Duke of York, decided to leave the safety of Sandal Castle to fight a much larger Lancastrian army. Why? Historians still debate it, but let's be real. This had strong, I can totally take him energy. Richard gets surrounded, gets killed, and the Lancastrians put his head on a spike with a paper crown. Basically, medieval England's version of trolling. His teenage son is killed too, which lights a fire under older brother Edward, who 3 months later avenges dad and becomes King Edward IV. So yes, December 30th is the day where a bad decision turned into a monarchy, proving once again that British history is mostly people making impulsive choices that become national holidays later. Segment 4, Jose Rizal and the Birth of a Nation, 1896. On this day in 1896, Dr. Jose Rizal, writer, reformer, ophthalmologist, polyglot, and all-around overachiever, was executed by firing squad in Manila. The Spanish authorities accused him of causing the Philippine Revolution, even though he was the guy saying, maybe let's try reforms and not war. His novels exposed colonial corruption so effectively that Spain basically said, we don't like the mirror you're holding up, so we're going to shoot the mirror. But December 30th backfired spectacularly. His execution united the Philippine people like nothing else. Spain wanted to silence him. Instead, they created a national hero with better branding power than half the tech startups in Silicon Valley. And Rizal's final act, turning mid-fall to face the sky, was the most cinematic exit since anyone dropped a mic. Segment 5, the USSR is born, some assembly required. 1922. December 30th, 1922. The USSR is officially formed. Lenin wanted a federal system where each republic was equal. Stalin wanted, let's call it, less equality and more central control. The treaty gave republics the theoretical right to secede. Theoretical, as in, you can absolutely leave, but you won't. It's like when a gym promises there's no contract, but somehow you're still paying 3 years later. And in a fun twist of legal irony, in 1991, those republics pulled out the old constitution and went, actually, it says right here that we can leave. And the USSR dissolved like an overdue group project. December 30th is literally the birthday of a superpower and the seed of its own undoing. Segment 6, the Iroquois Theater Fire, 1903. December 30th also holds the record for the deadliest single-building fire in U.S. history. Chicago's Iroquois Theater was advertised as absolutely fireproof. And if that phrase ever appears on a building, please know that building is about to combust like it's auditioning for a Michael Bay movie. A curtain catches fire. The fire curtain jams. Skylights meant to vent smoke were nailed shut because why would you want smoke to leave? And the exit doors opened inward. Inward. That's not a door, that's a suggestion. The tragedy killed over 600 people, but led to one of the most important safety inventions ever, the panic bar. So the next time you shove a metal bar to escape a room, congratulate December 30th for inventing the world's most democratic piece of hardware. Segment 7, Edwin Hubble blows the universe open, 1924. On this day in 1924, Edwin Hubble announced that the Andromeda Nebula wasn't a cute cloud in our galaxy, but a whole other galaxy millions of light years away. Hubble basically walked into the AAAS meeting and said, by the way, the universe, much bigger than we thought. Like, embarrassingly bigger. It ended the Great Debate, overturned centuries of assumptions, and launched cosmology into a new era. And somewhere, Copernicus looked down and said, told you people you weren't the center of anything. Segment 8, Saddam Hussein executed, 2006. December 30th closes with one of the most politically charged moments of the 21st century, the execution of Saddam Hussein. The trial was supposed to symbolize Iraq's move into justice and rule of law. Instead, the execution room turned into a taunt-filled, cell phone-recorded mess that went viral faster than any government wanted. The timing, first day of Eid, infuriated many. Sectarian violence exploded, and the whole thing became another chapter of instability rather than closure. It was a moment meant to bring unity that instead illustrated how fractured the region had become. In conclusion, December 30th is history's last-minute plot twist. A day when empires rise, nations awaken, galaxies expand, and humanity repeatedly learns the lesson. Lock the exits, check your laws, don't taunt dictators on camera, and always, always double-check your paper crowns.